that?
I can't see the number.
What number?
The number on the clock.
Oh,
It says?
it's 12:58 still.
Okay, good. I see it now. That mic's live.
Yeah, I'll wait until you tell me.
It's live, I said. Tap your line.
Hmm?
We'll tap you.
Yeah. Well, wherever you happen to may be today on this Sunday, June 15th, the third Sunday of the month of June, happy Father's Day as the Saskatoon Berries get set to play host to the Weyburn Beavers, the second game of a two-game series, a mini two-game series here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Good afternoon, Les Lazaruk with you, as we're going to be a couple of moments away from starting this game. And, well, you're not just also watching the game today on FloCollege, you're also listening to the game for the first time in 22 years. You'll have baseball on the radio in Saskatoon as 600 AM CJWW. Listeners are able to tune in to the Berries and the Weyburn Beavers. First pitch swung on and missed by Ryan Daphne, strike one. And we're underway at 1:01 on Sunday afternoon, Father's Day. Robert Bonilla is the starting pitcher for the Berries. Swing and a miss, strike two. Quickly ahead of Ryan Daphne, the leadoff man for the Weyburn Beavers, is Robert Bonilla out of El Paso, Texas, coming off his senior year at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Swung on and fouled back to the screen by Daphne. Count holds at 2 strikes. Bonilla set and ready to go again. 2-strike pitch upcoming to Daphne. Fastball inside, ball one. Daphne hitting .291. He's got a home run and 16 runs batted in, which is the team leader for the Beavers. Bonilla 1-2 pitch. Up and in, according to home plate umpire Logan Nugent, and the ball count is now 2-2. Home plate umpire is Logan Nugent, first base umpire Bobby Mark, and around at third base is the crew chief Derek Cesada. 2-2 pitch from Bonilla, swung on and hit up the middle. Nathan Houston fields it behind second base. Long throw in time. Good stretch by Turner Zadunich at first base for the Saskatoon Berries. And we're off to a good start here as far as the Berries are concerned. A good fielding play by Nathan Houston, the shortstop out of Melville, Saskatchewan, ranging to his left in behind the bag at second base. Whirls and fires on to first for the first out. It'll bring up the right fielder Noah Brooks, who was the most dangerous hitter for the Beavers in last night's game. A 12-5 Berries victory here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. A called strike on Brooks. Noah Brooks was 3 for 5, including a solo home run. He drove in 3 runs. Looks at a pitch upstairs, ball one. Defensively for the Berries, in right field is Ethan Murdoch, center fielder Carter Beck, And the left fielder is Jamal Freeman. This one's going to be possibly splitting the outfielders. Beck dives. He caught it. Into right center field. Carter Beck, the center fielder, ranging, dives, going to his left, and comes up with the ball. And that's 2 5-star defensive plays early in this game for the first 2 outs. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, or in the top of the first inning, as we're just underway. First, Nathan Houston, the shortstop, ranging in behind the bag at second, and now Beck laying out to make a diving catch in right center field. First pitch by Robert Bonilla to Trevor Dale is strike 1, foul back. Dale, the third baseman for Weyburn, hitting .348. Robert Bonilla, first pitch, that hits him. Up and in, and Dale disgustedly throws the bat aside, as there's a base runner for Weyburn with 2 away in the top of the first inning. Braden Mayencourt, the designated hitter, comes up. He was the catcher last night in that 12-5 Berries win. Left-handed hitting DH. Bonilla's first pitch is down low, ball 1. Mayencourt hitting .298. The home run last night was his first of the season. He has 10 runs batted in. 1 ball, 0 strikes. Foul back to the screen by Mayencourt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Around the infield for the Berries. At third base is Mason Rell. The shortstop is Nathan Houston. The second baseman is Abiam Medina. And at first base, Turner Zdunich. Balin Sorensen is the catcher, and Robert Bonilla with a 1-1 pitch that's fouled into the parking lot in behind third base. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. 1-2 the count on Mayencourt. Bonilla. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Mayencourt looks back at home plate umpire Logan Nugent, says no way, but yes way is the call from Logan Nugent, and that's the end of the top of the first inning. No runs on no hits. There were no Berries errors and 1 runner left on base. After a half an inning, the Weyburn Beavers nothing, and the Saskatoon Berries coming to bat. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
I'm out of here. She'll text Amran if you have any more.
Yep, okay.
Yep, okay.
What happened? The camera got unplugged? Who was it?
Again,
Oh, okay.
pissed me off. Sorry about that. Rush there. It gets you. You know, you go to switch it and you see this still camera of a tractor.
Yeah.
Put Amron's number up there, so if I need to write a message, I can.
Saskatoon Berries coming to the plate in the bottom of the first inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Weyburn Beavers did not score in the opening inning as they did last night. For the Berries, they come in on a 5-game winning streak. A 12-2 record overall, the best record not just in the East Division of the Western Canadian Baseball League, but the best record in all of the WCBL. Berries have won all 7 of their games here at home to start the year. They lost to the Beavers on opening night for both teams back on the 28th of May in Weyburn. The Beavers won 9-0 that night. Last night was the second head-to-head meeting, and today is the third one. Beavers are 4-9. They're 5th in the East Division, have lost their last 2 games in a row, and have a 1-4 record. So here come the Berries in the bottom of the first inning, and it'll be Ethan Menard The designated hitter today, caught yesterday, also plays first base. Right-handed hitter. And it's the first pitch down the right field line, but that is slicing foul. Well hit it. One hops the fence down the right field line. One strike on Menard. Starting pitcher for the Weyburn Beavers is Graham Middleton. Right-hander, set to deliver, one strike pitch. Bounces it in, ball one, 1-1. Graham Middleton. No record as of yet, no wins, no losses. This is his third start of the season. On the inside, they're going to say no on the appeal, thinking that Menard may have swung the bat, but he did not. 2-1 is the count. Ethan Murdoch, the right fielder. Carter Beck is on deck, the center fielder. Menard on the ground hard. Shortstop can't pick it up cleanly. Actually kicks it into left field, and hustling over to pick it up and get it back into the infield is Ryan Daphne, the left fielder. They'll call that a base hit, I believe. It is a single for Ethan Menard to lead off the bottom of the first inning. So here comes Carter Beck. Left-handed hitter. Of course, the Barries MVP, like Menard. Members of the Barries last year, as the first pitch is down and away. Ball one to Beck. Mentioned this is Middleton's third start. He's only pitched 7 innings in the 2 previous starts total. Outside to Beck, 2-0. Middleton, no record, a 7.71 earned run average. Pitched 7 innings coming into today. 8 hits allowed, 6 runs all earned, 7 strikeouts and 7 walks. Now throw over to first to check on Menard. Ethan not afraid to run, the product of Opelousas, Louisiana. And hi to everybody down there who I know are tuning in. And thank you for the kind words. Much appreciated as that pitch upstairs to Carter Beck, 3-0. Ethan with 4 stolen bases, Ethan Menard that is. He's got his batting average up to 400 with that single, 8 for 20. Down and low, ball 4, so it's a walk. And now runners on first and second. And Ethan Murdoch, the right fielder, one of 15 players on the Barries roster who are from Saskatchewan. 7 of them from Saskatoon. Another 8 from outside of this city. Carter Beck on first base is from Cardiff. Murdoch is from Swift Current, where he went to school this past winter at Marshall University. First pitch in for a strike from Graham Middleton. Murdoch hitting .327. A team leading 5 home runs and 18 RBI. And a breaking pitch in again for strike 2. Murdoch 16 for 49 on the season overall. Middleton with a 2-strike pitch upcoming. And that ball will get away from the catcher, Rob Gurney. And that'll allow that'll allow Menard to advance to third and Beck to second. Wild pitch or pass ball. Pass ball, they're going to call that, saying the catcher should have been able to have blocked that. So second and third now with nobody out, and a 1-2 count on Evan Murdoch. Or Ethan Murdoch, my apologies. 1-2 pitch swung on him, missed strike 3. Good strikeout to get for Graham Middleton and the Weyburn Beavers. With 2 runners in scoring position, as now it'll be Mason Rell, the third baseman. Mason Rell joining the team after the start of the season. from West Bend, Wisconsin, coming off his freshman year at Indiana State University. He is a college teammate of Carter Beck, who went to Indiana State this past winter as well. Rell swings, misses. Ball in the dirt, blocked by Gurney. Paul stayed in the catcher's area behind home plate for a second as he spun to find it. But strike one on Rell. 2 men on, 1 away. Bottom of the first inning, just nicely underway on a very nice Sunday afternoon. Last night, of course, 63-minute weather delay as that pitch is down and away, ball 1, 1-1. Rain started to come down at 8:22. We didn't get going again until 9:25 and finished the game just before 10 o'clock last night. A 12-5 Berries win. Outside again with a slider. It's 2-1. 23 degrees Celsius is the temperature. Wind out of the west-northwest, gusting to 36 kilometers per hour under mainly sunny skies. A few puffy clouds in the air. That wind, scoreboard in right field, the flag's atop, blowing very generously out towards right field. In the air, coming on is the left fielder Daphne, makes the catch. He'll throw home, and Gurney has to go wide of the home plate in order to field the ball. Menard held up and did not score, and so now it's 2 away, and still runners on second and third for the Saskatoon Berries. And now ABM Medina, who did not play in last night's game, comes up here with 2 away. Medina, second baseman, out of Ponce, Puerto Rico. Hitting .424, off to a good start offensively at the plate. First pitch is low and away, ball 1. Close, but not quite, according to home plate umpire Logan Nugent. Graham Middleton in a bit of a jam. First two men on. They're on second and third, but he's gotten 2 outs. Medina, check swing, but it's a called strike, 1-1. Medina coming off his senior year at Texas A&M International. He has scored 15 runs on behalf of the Berries already, which is tied for the team lead. Up high, 2-1. Gurney, the catcher, bluffing a throw to third as Menard is about third of the way down the line after the pitch is thrown with his secondary lead, but the third baseman, Trevor Dale, is well back. Medina says no, don't go as that pitch down and in. Good block by Gurney. 3 balls and 1 strike on the Berries' second baseman. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, is on deck. Bottom of the first inning. No score. Weyburn did not score in the top of the first. Berries with a chance here if they can get a clean single or a clean hit into the outfield. And strike 2, Medina thought it was up high, but called strike by the umpire Logan Nugent. So we'll have a full count here now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Graham Middleton ready to deliver. Down low, ball 4. We got a walk. And the bases are loaded. For Nathan Houston, the shortstop, who calls Melville, Saskatchewan home. And right away we get Cam Williams, the head coach of the Weyburn Beavers, coming out to the mound to talk things over with his starting pitcher. He'll give us a moment here to run through the defensive alignment for the Weyburn Beavers. In the outfield from right to left, Noah Brooks is the right fielder. Chet McDaniel is in center. The left fielder is Ryan Daphne. Around the infield, starting at third base, Trevor Dale. Shortstop is Zach Tanabe. Second baseman, Alex Alva. And the first baseman, Ian Heck. Rob Gurney is the catcher. And the pitcher is Graham Middleton. So the base is loaded for Nathan Houston. Hitting .291. Middleton, first pitch to him is outside, ball 1. Houston with 16 hits and 55 at-bats. 7 runs batted in. Speedy player, coming off his sophomore year at Louisiana Tech University. In there for a strike, 1-1. Catcher Balin Sorensen hoping to get a shot at bat this half inning, because if he gets up, that means the Berries have scored at least 1 run. 1-1 pitch. Houston swings at a curveball, misses. Strike 2, 1-2. Berries as a team hitting .302. Third best in the WCBL. They have the top OPS, which is, of course, on-base percentage plus slugging at .885. Houston swings and misses. Gurney will touch home plate, and that'll be the end of the inning, as that's a strikeout. Second one of the inning for Graham Middleton, and the Berries leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the first inning. So after 1 inning of play, it is scoreless, as the Berries got no runs there on 1 hit, no errors for Weyburn, and again, 3 runners left on base. Scoreless after 1. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege.
Thank you for cueing me. Yeah, you do it. That's it. I don't know what to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So why did that player run to first if he was out?
Well, no, if it hits the ground when he swings,
Yeah.
then he gets the chance to go to first base. But all the catcher had to do, because the bases were loaded, is just touch home.
Strike. Oh, okay.
Is just touch home plate, because the guy coming from third
Oh, he's gonna
was
hit.
coming home. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's too bad, eh?
Yep.
Where do you do the score? Is this it here?
Yeah. Runs.
Runs. Has there only been 1 hit?
Yeah. There were 2 walks.
Oh, okay. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Top of the second inning here at Next Gen Patch Cairns Field. Scoreless between the Weyburn Beavers and the Saskatoon Berries. Beavers will send up their numbers 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the order. First baseman Ian Heck, a veteran of this league in his 2nd season. Alex Alva, the second baseman, and shortstop Zach Tanabe. Heck was 3 for 5 in last night's game. First pitch swinging off the glove of Zadunik at first base, and Turner Zadunik will touch the bag as he was able to catch the deflection off of his glove. Calmly did so. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the second inning, as Heck, a right-handed hitter, grounds out. Alex Alva comes up now, the second baseman, hitting .265. Alva's a left-handed hitter, came into the game as a defensive replacement last night. First pitch swinging again to Hopper. The shortstop. Onto his left is Nathan Houston. The throw on to first in time. 2 pitches, 2 outs for the Beavers here in the top of the second inning. And right about now, Cam Williams, the Weyburn head coach, is going to say to Zach Tanabe, the shortstop, hey, take a pitch or 2. Don't let it be this easy for this guy. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Can you imagine if he swings at the next pitch and it's a 3-pitch inning? Doesn't happen very often in baseball. And he takes the first pitch for a strike. Robert Bonilla making his 3rd start with the Berries. This one's hit on the ground towards second base. Up with it is Abian Medina. Okay, so it took 4 pitches to get 3 outs. 3 ground ball outs on just 4 pitches in the top of the second inning. Short work for Robert Bonilla and the Saskatoon Berries, as we're scoreless after an inning and a half. After 1.5 innings, scoreless, the Berries and the Weyburn Beavers, as you're listening to Saskatoon Berries baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
How in the world do you clear this?
Clear what?
That 2 there.
You don't clear it. That's the inning. Tells you whether it's the top or bottom of the second inning. So don't worry about that. I'll look after that.
Okay. I'll just do balls and strikes then.
Yes, yes, yes. That's helpful.
Okay. Great.
Back for the bottom of the second inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, and a big happy Father's Day to all who are tuning into this broadcast, be it again on the webcast, the originating webcast through FloCollege, especially to all the fathers of players on these 2 teams who may be tuning in. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you got spoiled rotten this morning. And, of course, that goes to all in the province of Saskatchewan listening in right now on CJWW. For the first time in 22 years, there is a baseball broadcast on a CJWW. The last time would have been the 2003 summer. The ill-fated Canadian Baseball League, as the first pitch to catcher Balin Sorensen of the Berries is a strike. In this very ballpark. It was a lot different look back then in 2003, let me tell you. Down low, 1-1. From Graham Middleton, the pitcher for Weyburn, against catcher Balin Sorensen, who's hitting .239. 11 for 46. Swing and a miss, strike 2, 1-2. Sorensen out of Monroe, Louisiana. He and Ethan Menard, big-time buds. 2-2, down and in to Sorensen. Balin, coming off his senior year at Southern Louisiana University. 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. That is strikeout number 3 for Graham Middleton out of the 4 outs that he has come up with here so far today. It'll bring up the left fielder Jamal Freeman. Turner Zadunich, the first baseman, will be on deck here in the bottom of the second inning. Freeman hitting .280. Even I can figure this one out. He's got 14 hits and 50 at-bats. First pitch on the inside corner, strike 1 to Jamal Freeman. He, along with Balin Sorensen, Carter Beck, and Ethan Menard, are in their second seasons with the Berries. Freeman cues that off foul, 0-2. Although Freeman joined the team very late last season. He didn't come in until around Canada Day. But with his speed on the bases and in the outfield, a valuable commodity for the team to be sure. 2 strikes, swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 3 strikeouts in a row for Graham Middleton, who was a little bit shaky in the first inning. Took 26 pitches for him to get through the frame unofficially. The first 2 men got on, advanced to second and third. Then he walked to load the bases, walked Abian Medina, but was able to strike out Nathan Houston to finish the inning. Turner Zadunich looks at a first pitch ball. Zadunich did not play in last night's game. Does some pitching as well for the Berries from High River, Alberta. Fouls the pitch back onto the screen in behind home plate, 1-1. Zadunich coming off his freshman year at Colby Community College. It's the same place that Dallin Rude, who finished off the ball game last night pitching for the Berries, went to. That's way outside, all the way to the backstop. 2 balls, 1 strike. Turner Zadunich hitting .200. 6 hits and 30 at-bats. Looks at a fastball in there for a strike. Middleton throws some pretty good heat. That's got some giddy up on it. 2-2 pitch to the number 9 hitter for the Berries. Swung on and missed. He struck out the side. No runs, no hits, no Weyburn errors, nobody left on base. Scoreless through 2 innings here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field between the Saskatoon Berries and the Weyburn Beavers, as you're listening to Saskatoon Berries baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Top of the 3rd inning upcoming here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in mid-June. Robert Bonilla on the mound for the Saskatoon Berries, the starting pitcher. Opponents hitting .258 against him. His first pitch to the number 8 hitter, Chet McDaniel, is in there for a ball. Looked pretty good for a strike, but they called it a ball. Did hit home plate umpire Logan Nugent. Bonilla ready to go, fouled off, and that one will go over top of the first base bleachers. Strike 1, 1-1. Chet McDaniel, the center fielder, hitting .114. Had a hit last night in 2 official at-bats. Had a couple of walks as well. Fouls that back to the screen, 1-2. McDaniel 4 for 35 on the year, hitting .114. Has an RBI. He's from Lewisburg, Mississippi, coming off his senior year at Central Baptist College. Curveball, strike 3 called. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Robert Bonilla. Nicely done. Through 3 fastballs and then through the hook. Off speed. It was all over the plate. So now up comes the number 9 hitter, the catcher Rob Gurney. Gurney from Campbell River, BC. Coming off his junior year at the University of Pikeville. Right-hand hitter. Check swing. They appealed. Nope. Didn't go around, according to the first base umpire, Bobby Mark. So ball 1 on Gurney. Catcher hitting .207. 6 for 29. Has a home run with 2 RBI. Bonilla. This one's on the ground towards second. Nice room service hop for ABM Medina. He'll throw him out. There's 2 away. This is settling into a bit of a pitcher's duel in the early stages of this game, as Bonilla has retired 6 straight after hitting a batter back in the first inning. And on the other side, Graham Middleton has struck out 4 in a row, heading to the bottom of the third. Second time around now for the Weyburn Beavers. For Ryan Daphne, the left fielder, he takes a called strike. Grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Daphne has scored 12 runs for Weyburn. He's in his 4th season inside 1-1. Ryan Daphne from Surrey, BC, a junior this past winter at Central Baptist College. 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bonilla. On Daphne, I should say, from Bonilla. Daphne on a 5-game hitting streak. 8 for 20 in those 5 games. 1-2 pitch. Hit back up the middle. Second baseman Medina on the shortstop side of first base throws it over, and that goes wide off of the dugout. And they're going to say second base, as it was the Berries players who prevented that from going into the dugout, knocking it down, keeping it in the field of play. But the wild throw, it'll be an infield hit and then a throwing error. And so a runner on second base. Straight error or a hit and an error? Hit and an error? Okay. Got to check with the official scorers. I'm not the official scorer. But on my mind, that would have been a single because it was on the fielded by the second baseman on the shortstop side of second base. And the first pitch to Noah Brooks is a strike. But the throw by Medina allows him to get to second as Daphne advances to second base. So Bonilla with a runner on second to deal with, and 2 away. This one's lined into right field. It'll get down. Murdoch, good bare hand as he slipped and fell, but Weyburn is going to score the first run as Daphne will come around third and score a solid single by Noah Brooks. And an RBI, his 13th of the year, and Weyburn breaks out in front by a score of 1-0 as Brooks extends his hitting streak to 5 games. Now 9 for 17 in that time. Bonilla's first pitch to the third baseman, Trevor Dale, is down low, ball 1. So back-to-back singles from the Beavers. As now this is going to be a third straight hit. Dale with a line shot into right field, fielded by Murdoch. Brooks will move up to second base. And runners on first and second now with 2 away. All this coming with 2 out. Each of the top 3 men in the Weyburn order coming up with hits. So now it's the designated hitter, Braden Mayencourt, who struck out to end the top of the first inning and looks at a pitch on the outside corner, strike 1. Bonilla. Swing and a miss by Mayencourt against the Berries right-hander. No balls, 2 strikes. The fans on a packed crowd here on a Sunday afternoon on Father's Day at Next Gen Patch, urged to cheer it on. Look for the strikeout. Don't get it with the 0-2 pitch outside from Bonilla. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Opponents hitting .258 against Bonilla coming into today's game. A 1.43 whip. Curveball stays outside. 2-2. Whip is one of those new analytics stats that I like. Walks plus hits per innings pitched. If you're under 1, you're doing outstanding. Mancourt reaches out, gets the ball towards shortstop. Long throw, unable to come up with it is Zdunich as he put the big stretch on. Now scoring on the play is Brooks all the way from second base. Mancourt ends up at second, and Trevor Dale at third, and a second run in for the Swift Current, or for the Weyburn Beavers, I should say, as Mancourt just reached out and put the ball on the ground between the third baseman and shortstop to make it 2-0 for the Beavers. Runners on second and third still with 2 away. That's 4 straight hits, and again, a throwing error, this time by Houston. First pitch swinging Ian Heck lines it foul in amongst some crowd on the first base side. Hope everybody's okay over there. That one was scorched. 1 strike on Ian Heck, who grounded out to the first baseman last time up. And now this one will get away from Sorensen to the backstop. Coming in to score from third base is Trevor Dale, and that makes it 3-0. So make it 3-zip now for Weyburn. 3 runs here on 4 successive hits and a couple of throwing errors and a wild pitch. Pitch to Heck is down and away. Ball 2. 2-1. Bonilla again, 2-1 pitch. This one's hit up the middle, and that'll drive in another run, and Weyburn goes up 4-0 as Ian Heck with a 5th straight single for the Weyburn Beavers here with 2 out in the top of the 3rd inning against Robert Bonilla. And here comes head coach Joe Carnahan from the Berries dugout to have a word or two with Robert Bonilla, who was moving along nicely through the first time through the order, but now second time around, Beavers seem to have figured him out. At least the first 5 guys have. 4-0 Weyburn with the lead here in the top of the 3rd inning. 4 runs in, all with 2 out. 4 runs on 5 hits. And a couple of Berries errors thrown in for good measure. So now it's Alex Alva, the second baseman, coming up. He grounded out to shortstop back in the 2nd inning. This is the 8th batter of the inning for Weyburn. Robert Bonilla, first pitch, swung on and missed, strike 1. Two strikeouts and a hit batsman for Bonilla through the first time around the order. Now hot shot, 1 hop taken at second by Abia Medina. He'll throw Alva out. And a tough top of the 3rd inning for Robert Bonilla and the Saskatoon Berries as Weyburn scores 4 runs on 5 hits. The Berries committed 2 errors, and there was 1 runner left on base. After 2.5, it is the Weyburn Beavers 4, the Saskatoon Berries no score. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Okay. Graham Middleton has been staked to a 4-0 lead as he comes out for the bottom of the third inning to pitch. To the top of the Saskatoon Berries order, designated hitter Ethan Menard, center fielder Carter Beck, and right fielder Ethan Murdoch. Menard singled and was left at third base in the top of the first inning. Menard came into the game hitting .368. That single, again, pretty easy math for me. 8 for 20 is 400. First pitch from Middleton is down low, ball 1. Ethan Menard with 5 RBIs. Now has hits in 5 of 6 games since returning to the Berries. Looks at a strike, 1-1. Menard, of course, spent his senior year at the University of Texas at Tyler. They won their conference championship and went for a brief time at the Little League World Series as he slaps a single in between short and third, and a leadoff single in the third inning for Ethan Menard. Carter Beck walked his last time up. He was held hitless last night, 0 for 3, the Carnduff product. 2 winters ago, he played for the University of Mary at Bismarck and moved on up into NCAA Division I ball this past winter with Indiana State as Middleton's first pitch is outside, ball 1. Beck had hit safely in his first 6 games before going 0 for 3 last night. On the outside corner, 1-1. Sun's moved around now that it's not beating into our broadcast location. Makes things a lot easier to deal with. But the fans are loving it out there in the stands. On the outside corner again, 1-2. Middleton had struck out 4 in a row prior to that base hit by Menard. This is the second time through the order for the Berries. See if they can do similar to what Weyburn did back in the top of the third. Menard is off the bag, and he's going to get picked off. Ethan Menard was creeping along, wanted to get a jump, and got a little too far off, and Middleton able to spin and fire and pick him off for the first out. So now nobody on, and Carter Beck with a 1-2 count against him. Middleton's pitch swung on, fouled off, so it stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tip ball that the catcher Gurney could not hold on to. 4-0 Weyburn with the lead here in the bottom of the third inning. All their runs coming just now in the top of the third. Beck fouls it back onto the screen. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Graham Middleton, I mentioned, only pitched 7 innings in his 2 previous starts this season. His last time out was a 5-inning start at Medicine Hat, as that one is way outside and all the way to the backstop for 2-2 count. He had no decision in that 5 innings in Medicine Hat back on the 8th of June, a week ago. Gave up 4 earned runs, 4 runs total on 6 hits, struck out 6, walked 3. Bounces a pitch in, that knocks the mask off of the catcher Rob Gurney's face and head, and it's a full count. 3-2. Home plate umpire Logan Nugent will sweep the plate off. And we're ready to go. Payoff pitch upcoming from Graham Middleton to Carter Beck. Curved ball goes way outside, all the way to the backstop. Beck trots down to first, but he won't be able to advance any further. But that's a second walk issued to him in today's game, and now it's Ethan Murdoch, who struck out back in the first inning. Murdoch hitting .320. Again, easy math to do, 16 hits and 50 at-bats. He was 1 for 4 last night with 3 runs batted in. Beck a threat to steal. Just can't get too anxious. First pitch to Murdoch is up high, ball 1. Menard has 4 stolen bases before getting picked off. Beck has a couple. He had 20 stolen bases last year with the Berries. On the ground between short and third, fielded by the third baseman Dale, on to second for 1, back to first. Murdoch able to beat it out as Beck slid hard into the second baseman and had a factor in knocking him down. Alex Alva went down to the ground, and the throw didn't have enough juice to get the double play. So Murdoch is on first. Beck is out. 2 away. And Mason Rell, the third baseman, who flew out to left field his first time up. Graham Middleton peering in at the catcher, looking for a sign. First pitch is in for a strike. Breaking pitch on Mason Rell, who's 1 for 5 last night with an RBI. Has a hit in each of the last 3 games, but is 3 for 15 in that time. His average going down a little. Started the day at .324. Down low, ball 1. Might have been inside as well with an off-speed pitch. Murdoch at first, also a threat to steal, has 6 stolen bases. Graham Middleton's 1-1 pitch. Hits Rell on the left arm. And so now runners on first and second. That's a hit batsman on each side. So up comes Abiam Medina, who walked his first time up in the first inning. Left-handed hitter who has some pop. He has a home run to his credit. And a left-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher, if he can pull the ball and get it in the air, the wind, which at game time was said to be gusting up to 36 kilometers an hour out of the west-northwest. And that hits him, first pitch from Middleton. So now the bases are loaded. Back-to-back hit batsman. And here comes the Weyburn head coach, Cam Williams, out again. He did this in the first inning when Middleton loaded the bases up with a single and a pair of walks. Here it's a single, a walk, a fielder's choice, and a couple of hit batsmen. Also a pickoff. He helped himself out there. But really, all 5 guys have been on base that he has faced this inning. He hasn't given up a run yet, and he has 2 outs. Nathan Houston was in this position back in the first inning. He has seen what Middleton throws. Now he has to make contact and get a safe hit and see if he can cut into this 4-0 deficit. We're only in the bottom of the 3rd inning, so there's a lot of baseball to go to in this game, but another opportunity here for the Berries to get on the board and make something happen offensively. Houston struck out in this situation in the first. Looks at that ball down low, 1-0. As I was starting to say about Abiam Medina, that wind gusting out to right field. Take a fly ball heading that way over the fence if you get it up there and in the wind. Ball outside, ball 2 to Nathan Houston. Houston with hits in 3 of his last 4 games. He was 3 for 4 last night against the Beavers. 2-0 pitch. Lined into left field. That's down for a base hit. Turning third and heading for home is Mason Rell. The throw home is not in time. 2 runs score. And it's now 4-2 for the Weyburn Beavers over the Saskatoon Berries. But the home team still at the plate with runners on first and second. Medina up to second. Houston on first. Drives in Ethan Murdoch and Mason Rell with his 8th and 9th RBIs of the season. So now catcher Balin Sorensen to the plate. He struck out to lead off the bottom of the second inning. Graham Middleton looks back and checks the runner at second. First pitch down low to Sorensen, ball 1. Balin Sorensen leads the Berries with 7 doubles already this season out of his 11 hits. 11 for 47 on the year. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Middleton checks in for the sign from catcher Rob Gurney. A 1-1 pitch upcoming. Down low, blocked by Gurney. 2 balls and a strike. Jamal Freeman on deck, itching to get a chance at the plate. Sorensen, the catcher, had 11 home runs last year with the Berries. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Has trouble laying off of that breaking pitch down low in the zone. Looks good when it comes out of the hand, and then it breaks sharply down right around home plate, and it's swung over the top of. 2-2. Outside, says home plate umpire Logan Nugent. Graham Middleton was starting to walk off the mound thinking he had himself a strikeout, but no. Instead, he has a full count. 2 away, runners will be going with the pitch. Middleton, 3-2, is in there for a called strike 3. Ends the inning, but the Berries get back after giving up 4 in the top of the third with 2 runs, and they get those 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no Weyburn errors, and 2 runners, I should say, left on base. Through 3 complete here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. It is the Weyburn Beavers 4 and the Saskatoon Berries 2. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to update that.
Yeah,
though.
Just gonna say. Sorry about the clock there. I'll watch it now.
That's okay.
It's at 15:14. 9.
Here's your line score unofficially through 3 innings so far. For the Weyburn Beavers, 4 runs on 5 hits. They have not committed an error and have left 2 runners on base. For the Saskatoon Berries, 2 runs on 3 hits. They've committed 2 errors, and they've left 5 runners on base. So we're heading to the top of the 4th, and the Beavers will send up the bottom third of their order. Shortstop Zach Tanabe, center fielder Chet McDaniel, and catcher Rob Gurney to face starting pitcher Robert Bonilla. And down the right field line, there is action in the Berries bullpen as Clavert Martina is warming up. Nothing happening down the left field line in the Weyburn bullpen as Bonilla's first pitch to Tanabe is outside for a ball. Zach Tanabe grounded out to second base back in the 2nd inning. Came into the day hitting 256, swings and misses at the second pitch A fastball, strike one. Tanabe was 0 for 4 last night against the Berries in the 12-5 Saskatoon victory. Here's the 1-1. It bounces away. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Zach Tanabe from Waipahu, Hawaii, coming off his senior year at Graceland University. Hit into the ground towards second base. Medina up with it. The throw on to first in time. 1 away. Abian Medina and Nomar Prieto, who played second base last night, both very good, very slick defensively, both from Puerto Rico. They field that second base position expertly. Don't get rattled or confused or anything like that. They stay pretty calm. Line drive, going to swing foul off the bat of Chet McDaniel, the first pitch from Robert Bonilla. One strike on McDaniel, who struck out in the third inning. And he'll take another strike, and 0-2 on him. That was a curveball from Bonilla. He hasn't thrown a lot of those. He basically goes with the fastball. But he throws another off-speed pitch, breaking ball, and it's cued off foul towards the Berries dugout. 2 strikes still remains on McDaniel. 1 away. 2-strike pitch is foul tipped. He'll stay alive. Well, now he didn't foul tip it. McDaniel was walking back to the dugout and chased down by Sorensen. I thought the way McDaniel reacted, and so did Sorensen, that it was a foul tip. And now McDaniel's asking, and now here comes Cam Williams, the head coach. Now the head plate umpire Nugent is going to call in the base umpires, and we're going to get clarification as to whether there was a tip ball or not. If it's a tip ball, it was not held by Sorensen, and McDaniel will stay at the plate. No, they're saying he's out. So that's a strikeout for Robert Bonilla, his third of the afternoon, and there's 2 away. And it'll bring up the number 9 hitter, the catcher, Rob Gurney for Weyburn. Bonilla unofficially has thrown 52 pitches. He had come into the game, as that is inside ball 1. He had come into the game only pitching 7 innings with 7 strikeouts and 2 walks in his first 2 appearances of the year. 1-0 pitch is down low, 2-0. So Bonilla has yet to really have a really stretched out type of start with the Berries. The 2-0 pitch is outside, ball 3. Top of the order, and Ryan Daphne on deck for Weyburn. Last Sunday, Bonilla pitched 3 innings in the 7-6 loss in Swift Current. Gave up 5 runs, all earned on 6 hits, struck out 3, walked 1. Pitch inside, ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. Puts Gurney on first. And now Ryan Daphne, the leadoff hitter, who singled and scored back in the 3rd inning. And it was his single, and he got to second base on a throwing error by Abian Medina, the second baseman, that touched off the 4-run rally for Weyburn, all with 2 outs. First pitch is fouled back to the screen, strike 1. 5 singles in a row, coupled with a pair of throwing errors and a wild pitch, and Weyburn scored 4 times in the top of the 3rd. Pitch gets away from Sorensen, short passed ball will allow Gurney to move up to second base. 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm assuming passed ball. And that's being confirmed. It is nice to have the official scorers right beside me practically and not in a separate booth miles away, as was the case many years ago when I was doing baseball in other locales. 2-1 the count. As that last pitch was low and away. Bonilla with a runner on second in scoring position. Daphne would like to bring him in. Up high is Daphne crouching down in his stance now. Looking to maybe draw a walk, get another runner on base for Noah Brooks, who's swinging a good bat, a hot bat for Weyburn. 3-1, fouled back to the screen, the full count. Right fielder Noah Brooks is on deck next. He singled and drove in Daphne with the first run of the ball game last inning. He eventually came home on an error. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Daphne goes down swinging. Second strikeout of the inning and 4th of the afternoon for Robert Bonilla. And Weyburn does not get a run. No hits, no Barry's errors, 1 runner left on base. After 3.5 innings tonight, or today, this afternoon, here at the Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it is the Weyburn Beavers 4 and the Saskatoon Berries 2, as you're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW. And you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege.
What's that noise? Kids?
Yeah, probably.
Anything you have to update here?
Yeah. Back at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field on Father's Day. No other action yet underway in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Everybody else is playing. Medicine Hat at Regina, Swift Current in Moose Jaw, Fort McMurray at home to Lethbridge, the Energy City Cactus Rats going to Okotoks, and Sylvan Lake visiting Brooks. All those games are just getting underway. This one is through 3.5 innings. Weyburn Beavers with a 4-2 lead on the Saskatoon Berries. On a nice sunny afternoon for Father's Day, 24 degrees Celsius now, mainly sunny skies, and that northwest wind now gusting upwards of 48 kilometers an hour, blowing out to right field. Jamal Freeman, the leadoff batter for the Saskatoon Berries, fouls the first pitch up and out of play over top of the backstop screen here. No, it didn't quite get over. It's a high backstop screen here. It'll catch a lot of potential foul balls. 1 strike on Freeman, who struck out his first time up against Graham Middleton. Check swing, down low, ball 1. First baseman saying, let's appeal. No appeal being asked for, so 1 ball, 1 strike. Middleton's pitch to Freeman. On the outside corner, 1-2. Jamal saying, goodness, I might need a telephone pole to hit that one. He thinks it's outside. Logan Nugent's strike zone may be a little wide there as far as Freeman is concerned. So long as it's consistent, it doesn't matter. As that last pitch down low, 2-2. Of course, Freeman from Houston Coming off his senior year at Eastern New Mexico. Pitch inside. That hits the umpire. Ouch. That hit him in the right thigh as catcher Rob Gurney missed the ball, and now Nugent's umpiring colleagues come racing in from first and third to see if he's okay, and he waves him back, says, "I'm all right. Get back to your posts. We're ready to go." Full count upcoming to Jamal Freeman. Turner Zdunich, the first baseman on deck. Then the top of the order. And that one is outside, ball 4, a walk. A walk to Freeman, runner on first. And Zdunich struck out back in the second inning. Freeman on base, a threat to steal. He has 6 steals, caught once. Good wheels on him. Zdunich, first pitch swinging, pops it high in the air. Shielding his eyes from the sun is the third baseman, Trevor Dale. He'll make the catch and throw it into second base. Freeman was 2/3 of the way to second base when the catch was made and had to scamper back to his position at first base. So 1 away. It'll bring up Ethan Menard, the leadoff batter. Menard is 2 for 2. 2 singles. Got picked off first base his last time up. Graham Middleton. First pitch down low, blocked by Gurney, ball 1. Ethan Menard, again in his second season, very popular with fans in Saskatoon as he takes a called strike, 1-1. Very emotional, wears his emotions on his sleeve, and will let you know, especially when things have gone well. Fist pumps galore, and the fans eat it up here at the Next Gen patch at Cairns Field. Toss on to first as Freeman started to lean towards second, but was able to reverse course and get back to the bag. Middleton has a good move for a right-hander to first base. 1-1 the count to Menard. That one's called low, 2-1. Middleton came into this inning having thrown 65 pitches in 3 innings. He's up to 73 now. And Menard fouls a pitch off his left foot, left leg. Foul, 2-2 the count. Sorry, make that 76 pitches he's now thrown. Unofficially, of course. Jumbotron says, Barry, fun fact, Ethan likes hunting, or loves hunting, actually. Be curious what he'd be out hunting for in Opelousas, Louisiana.
Possums.
Maybe he likes to go after alligators or crocs. If he does, there's some stories as he fouls that one off and over top of the first base dugout out of play. We'll have to ask one day. Well, it says now, Ethan has caught an alligator barehanded. So what do you think he goes hunting for? Here's a line drive into center field. That one is off the glove of Chet McDaniel. Now the runners have to scurry back to their bases as the outfielder recovers. Freeman turned around second and put on the brakes and had to scramble back to second. And Menard was halfway to second, had to go back to first. We're going to call that one a base hit, I'm pretty sure, as that was a well-hit ball and a great effort by Chet McDaniel, the center fielder, to catch it. Had it briefly in his glove, but when he hit the ground, it popped out. So Menard's 3 for 3. Freeman to second, and now Carter Beck the hitter. 2 walks for him. Batting average stays at .438. This one's lifted into center off the end of the bat, and this one will drop in, a base hit. Runners had to wait a moment to see whether that would drop in or not, and when it did, they were able to advance 1 base. So bases are loaded now with 1 away, and for the 3rd time in this game, here comes head coach Cam Williams, but this time he does have action in the bullpen down the left field line. That was number 16 down the left field line. Isaiah Granado, who faced 1 batter last night and was able to finish off the Berries, came in and got Ethan Murdoch to ground out to shortstop to finish off the 7th inning, in which the Berries scored 4 times to take an 11-4 lead at that point on the way to a 12-5 win. Murdoch is due up now, but Cam Williams is going to let Graham Middleton try and work his way out of it. There's 1 away. The bases are loaded. It's 4-2 Weyburn with the lead, but the Berries have a serious threat going here in the bottom of the 4th inning on Father's Day. Murdoch struck out in the 1st, bounced into a fielder's choice in the 3rd, and eventually scored. He takes a strike. Breaking pitch in from Graham Middleton. Again, I mentioned Murdoch attending university this past off season at Marshall University. Swing and foul tipped and strike 2. That was Murdoch's senior year. Of course, Marshall University known for the football program and the plane crash that killed many of their people back in 1972. And the movie that came out about that, We Are Marshall. Hit in the air, but this one is hooking foul down the left field line. Talked to Ethan about the baseball program in Marshall and the fact that it may not have the profile that the football program does. And he says, that's starting to change. The baseball program is doing pretty well now. So obviously proud of his university, proud of where he went to school. 2-strike pitch. Ooh, that one stayed inside according to home plate umpire Logan Nugent. 1-2 the count. Again, bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1 away for the Berries. Trailing by 2. A chance to cut into that, maybe even tie. Or even go ahead. As that one stays inside and hits him, and that's a painful way to get an RBI. A hit by pitch. Freeman will score from 3rd base. Ethan Menard up to 3rd. Carter Beck to 2nd. And that's Murdoch's 19th run batted in of the season, as it's now 4-3. Mason Rell, the 3rd baseman, coming up. He also got hit by a pitch last inning. Scored a run. Flew out to left. His first time up in the 1st inning. Up and in, ball 1 to Rell. Graham Middleton came into the game with 7 strikeouts in 7 innings pitched this year, but he also had 7 walks. Well, he's hit 3 batters already today. The walks are down, but the hit batsmen are up. That's up high. 2-0. He also has walked 4. So that's pretty much in keeping with his season average so far. 2-0 pitch. Inside, 3-0. Graham Middleton has nowhere to put Mason Rell, without giving up a run here, that would tie the game. 3-0 pitch upcoming. In for a strike as Rell takes all the way. Menard on third, Beck on second, Murdoch at first. 1 out for the Berries in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1 run in. Weyburn with a tenuous 1-run lead. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Rell was going for the downs with that one. If he connects, it's going a long way. Mason Rell at the dish, 3-2 pitch, popped up in the air. Foul territory just outside first base, and dropped by Ian Heck. That would have been the second out, but now Mason Rell gets another life. That is an error. An error to the first baseman Ian Heck on what would have been definitely a foul out for the second out. And Rell stays alive with a full count. Boy, you don't see that too terribly often. And this one's lined into left field. Drops in for a base hit. 1 run in to score. Carter Beck on his way to home plate. He's in there safely. The cutoff and the throw to second base not in time. And the Berries have a lead here now of 5-4 on Father's Day afternoon in the bottom of the 4th inning. Costly dropped ball by Ian Heck in foul territory with 1 out, and that's going to be the end of the line for Graham Middleton, the pitcher. Rell with a single. Murdoch advances to second. Carter Beck and Ethan Menard both score. For Mason Rell, RBIs number 7 and 8 on the year for him. And we are getting a pitching change for the Weyburn Beavers as the Saskatoon Berries take a 5-4 lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Isaiah Granato out of Pico Rivera, California, coming off his freshman year at Whitman College. Isaiah Granato is a right-hander. 5'10", 195 pounds. As we scramble around to find some numbers on him. Give me a sec, I'll get that here. Granato's making his 7th appearance already this year. This is the 14th game of the season for the Weyburn Beavers, so head coach Cam Williams has a lot of confidence and trust in Isaiah Granato. He has 1 loss as far as the decision goes, a 5.22 earned run average. Isaiah Granato has pitched 10 1/3 innings in those 6 previous relief appearances, allowed 11 hits, 9 runs, 6 of them earned. He has struck out 15 and walked 5, so 15 strikeouts in 10 1/3 innings means he gets a lot of swings and misses. He'd like to get a couple of those here now, as Graham Middleton goes 3 2/3 innings and gives up 6 hits. He's allowed 5 runs. He's still on the hook for 2 of them that are on base right now. He struck out 6, walked 3, and hit 3 batters. Faces 22 batters, and unofficially he threw 90 pitches. So now it's Isaiah Granato to face second baseman Abian Medema. Left-handed hitting second baseman against the right-handed pitching Granato, with runners on first and second. And one away still in the bottom of the fourth as the first pitch is down low, ball one.
Ball one. Oh, there you go.
Granado gets a sign. Trying to keep the runner close at second. Pitch inside, ball two. That's a sharp breaking slider, sweeper type of pitch. I'm old school. That pitch is a slider to me that breaks pretty much level, but has some movement from side to side. Doesn't go down a lot. Swing and a miss by Medina. That pitch nowadays, my slider is now called a sweeper in a lot of instances because of the sweeping motion from side to side. 2-1 the count on ABM Medina out of Ponce, Puerto Rico. Bounced in, Gurney blocks, 3 balls and a strike. Shortstop Nathan Houston on deck. 3 runs in for the Berries here in the bottom of the fourth inning, as they have taken the early 4-0 deficit and to come back to lead 5-4. 3-1 the count on Medina. On the outside corner, strike 2. Full count to ABM Medina, who walked in the first inning, was hit by a pitch in the third. So 0 for 0 so far officially. Hitting .424 on the year. Fouled off as runners were moving with the pitch. Count remains 3-2. Runners return to their bases after the foul ball. Granado gets the sign. Payoff pitch, fouled off towards the Berries dugout. Look out. Player in the dugout had his glove on, was able to glove that. Saved his teammates getting hit by a foul ball. Count remains 3-2 on ABM Medina. Medina with 12 runs batted in. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Medina thought it was outside. He'll head to the dugout. 2 away. Nathan Houston coming up. Houston singled and drove in the 2 runs that the Berries scored last inning. Has a duck on the pond here against Isaiah Granado in the bottom of the fourth inning. 5-4, Berries with the lead on the Weyburn Beavers now. Second baseman went to the bag and there was no pickoff play. Granado threw the pitch down low to Houston, ball 1. Ethan Murdoch at second base getting a fairly sizable lead. And the Weyburn second baseman, Alex Alva, went to the bag on the first pitch. This one's hit towards shortstop. Fielded and on to first base in time. Good defensive play there by Zach Tanabe. And the throw to retire Nathan Houston to end the inning. But the Berries score 3 times in the bottom of the fourth inning. On 3 hits, there was 1 big error made by the Weyburn Beavers and 2 runners left on base. After 4 complete, here at the Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, the Saskatoon Berries now lead the Weyburn Beavers 5-4. As you're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege.
Is that right? I did a strikeout on that. I didn't know how to clear it.
Yeah, that was good. Because it's Weyburn going to be hitting, not Saskatoon.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Pretty good, huh?
Good.
There's a fly.
Mm-hmm.
I thought something was wrong with the camera before.
Top of the 5th inning upcoming. Robert Bonilla back on the mound for the Saskatoon Berries. Today's starting pitcher. He's got a 5-4 lead now. He'll face the numbers 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Weyburn Beavers. Noah Brooks, the right fielder. Trevor Dale, the third baseman. And Braden Mayencourt, the designated hitter. All three of whom had singles in the 3rd inning, and all three of whom scored in the Weyburn 4-run 3rd inning. Bonilla looking for better success against this trio as he throws a first pitch breaking ball in for a strike to Noah Brooks. Brooks 1 for 2. Came into the game hitting .373. Pitch down and away and all the way to the backstop. Bounces off the back porta pit type material and all the way almost back to home plate. 1-1 the count. Bonilla's pitch is low and away again. Ball 2, 2-1. Brooks a good hitter. You got to respect him. Two 1 inside. Ball 3. 3-1. Some of the umpires in the diamond seating in behind home plate thought that was strike 2. Of course, they're a little biased. 3-1 pitch. This one is on the inside corner. That'll make them happy. A full count. Wind seems to be shifting direction according to the flags out above the right field scoreboard. As the 3-2 pitch is down low, bounces away from Balin Sorensen. Brooks, though, takes off his shin guards and drops his bat at home plate and takes the walk. Bonilla, that's his 2nd walk issued in the game. As down the right field line, there is action in the Barry's bullpen. And it is Clavert Martina again. Trevor Dale up, hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, singled and scored. And he swings and misses at the first pitch from Bonilla, strike 1. He eventually scored on a wild pitch from Bonilla back in the 3rd inning. Hit in the air to left field. Jamal Freeman barely has to move before he makes the catch. Practically hit straight away to left field, pulled by Trevor Dale. Braden Mayencourt, the designated hitter, struck out in the 1st inning, singled, and advanced to second base on a throwing error by the shortstop Nathan Houston, which allowed Noah Brooks to score, and then eventually came in on Ian Heck's single as he swings and misses at the first pitch from Bonilla, strike 1. Heck is on deck for Weyburn. Cued foul wide of third base, and quickly Bonilla is up 2 strikes on Mayencourt. I really wasn't trying to make a rhyme there a couple of moments ago when I said Heck is on deck. I am not a poet, at least not by trade, which is a good thing. Ball up and away to Mayencourt, 1-2 the count. Hey, I got to have fun doing this. And I do, believe me. It is good to have baseball to talk about. Ground ball up the middle. Houston touches the bag, throws on the first, double play. Houston fielded the ball just in behind second. Medina was already at the bag. Houston basically told him, get out of the way. I'm going to touch the bag and throw to first to get the double play, and he did. A 6 unassisted to 3 twin killing for the Saskatoon Berries defensively. They get out of the inning without allowing a run. No hits for Weyburn. Nobody left on base. No Saskatoon errors. 4.5. We're halfway through on a Sunday afternoon on Father's Day. Here in Saskatoon, it is the Berries 5 and the Weyburn Beavers 4. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW. And you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Thank you, sweetie.
As usual.
Hmm?
You are a poet and you do know.
Yeah. If you're relying on me, you're in big trouble.
It's a collaborative effort.
It is a collaborative effort, though, yes. It has to be.
Or your comment about the umpires come screaming in if that's an out you want.
Indeed.
True.
5 runs. So bottom of the 5th inning coming up here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. The Saskatoon Berries with a 5-4 lead on the Weyburn Beavers. Isaiah Granado, after getting the last 2 outs of the bottom of the 4th inning, stays out. He'll face the bottom 3rd of the Berries order. Balin Sorensen, the catcher, Jamal Freeman, the left fielder, and Turner Zadunich, the first baseman. Sorensen, 0 for 2. Been out on strikes twice. Would like to do something about that this time around. First pitch curveball is inside ball 1. Sorensen has a home run and 8 runs batted in this year. Up high and in. That one didn't break. 2-0. Sorensen had to duck out of the way as that was about head high. Hitters count, though, 2-0 for Balin Sorensen. He'll look for something particular in the spot that he wants. Didn't get it there, and it was down and away, ball 3. Let's see if Joe Carnahan gives him the green light to swing a 3-0 pitch. I rather doubt it. I don't know that there's many guys in this league that are given the green light 3-0. That one is inside ball 4. So Sorensen draws a walk from Isaiah Granado. And it'll bring up Jamal Freeman, who's 0 for 1, struck out in the 2nd, walked and scored last inning in the 4th. I would not be surprised if Robert Bonilla's day as starting pitcher for the Berries is done after 5 innings. He's thrown 74 pitches. But he's got enough. He's got the 5 innings in to get the win, and if the Berries can hold on to it with their bullpen, Joe Carnahan might be tempted to make the change as he first pitched to Freeman down low ball 1. We'll see. I'm just trying to play a guess along with head coach Carnahan and pitching coach Olcheway. It's only 74 pitches for Bonilla, but he'd never thrown close to that number in his 2 previous starts. Outside. Ball 2, 2-0. Granado's thrown 6 straight balls to start this bottom of the 5th inning. If I'm the Berries coaches, I'm relaying to Jamal Freeman, you wait until he throws you a strike. Well, the toss over to first to check on Sorensen. Balin does have 2 stolen bases for a catcher already this year. Trying to down low 3-0. Balin Sorensen trying to put to rest the myth that the catcher can't run fast. He can run. Whether they run quickly or not, well, that's another story in some instances. All you have to do is take a look at one Alejandro Kirk with the Toronto Blue Jays, and you know that you're not exactly getting a guy that's going to speed around the bases. But boy, you like his hitting stroke. 3-0 the pitch coming to Jamal Freeman. That's outside. 8 pitches, 8 balls thrown here to start the bottom of the 5th by Isaiah Granado. So back-to-back walks brings up the first baseman, Turner Zdunich. And we start seeing some action down the left field line as Connor Nip is about to start throwing. N-I-P-P, Connor, first name, Newberg, Oregon is his hometown. Coming off the University of Jamestown, off his senior year. Turner Zdunich up on the Jumbotron, list him as pitcher. He does do that, but he's also the first baseman. And a first pitch strike. First of the inning thrown by Granado. Zdunich is 0 for 2. Struck out in the second inning, popped out in the 4th. Balin Sorensen on second. Jamal Freeman on first for the Berries. Granado looking at the runners. Pitch in, and it's fouled off back towards the Berries dugout. Hits the concrete curb just off the ground. Stays out of the dugout. 2 strikes the count on Zdunich. I have yet to mention the Berries are wearing those fabulous baby blue special day jerseys that they like to wear. That one just curled around the outside of the plate, 1 and 2. Looked good in the catcher's glove, but where it crossed at the plate area was still a little bit outside, according to home plate umpire Logan Nugent. So 1 and 2 the count. Zdunich again fouls one off towards the dugout. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Berries' first baseman. He has 4 runs batted in this year. No homers. As Granado checking the runners. On the ground between first and second, and in right field, a base hit. Going to be held up at third base is Balin Sorensen as the throw is cut off in the infield by the first baseman Ian Heck. The throw from the right fielder Noah Brooks, but again, the Berries have loaded the bases. This is now 4 of the 5 innings that they have had a turn at bat, that they have loaded the bases. And it's Ethan Menard, who's a perfect 3 for 3 today, 3 singles, has scored a run. And he loves these situations as the catcher. Rob Gurney going to head out and chat with Isaiah Granado while Connor Nip continues to warm up down the left field line in the Weyburn bullpen. Nobody out in the bottom of the 5th, and the base is loaded. And you have to think, well, does Weyburn play the infield in? They'll play the corner infielders in from the look of it. First baseman Ian Heck is going to be at the edge of the infield grass. Same thing for the third baseman, Trevor Dale, but shortstop Zach Tanabe, second baseman Alex Alva will play at double play depth just off the outfield grass. They'll take 2 outs to give up a run in this situation. As Menard up. Granado's first pitch. Lined into left field. That's down for a base hit. 1 run in to score. Freeman is in behind. He'll slide in safely. It is 7-4. A 2-run single by Ethan Menard. First pitch swinging against Isaiah Granado. Turner Zdunich holds up at second base. RBI 6 and 7 for Ethan Menard, as Freeman was flying around the bases and almost caught up to Balin Sorensen reaching home plate, and that's going to be the end of the line for Isaiah Granado. He got 2 outs right away, back to back, to end the 4th inning, but can't get anybody out here in the bottom of the 5th, and so another new pitcher coming into the game for Weyburn, number 3 pitcher of the game, and it'll be number 13, Connor Nip, coming on. As head coach Cam Williams has come out to make the pitching change. Let's go over to the Weyburn pitching side of things here and have a look. Oh, Connor Nip is new to this team. Just like Jackson Henderson last night made his first appearance with the Weyburn Beavers this season. This is also the first appearance of the season for Connor Nip. Again, he is from Newburgh, Oregon, coming off his senior year at the University of Jamestown. 6'1", 225-pound right-hander. The first batter he'll face is last year's All-Star Game MVP, the Berries MVP, and the WCBL All-Star in Connor Beck. Beck is 1 for 1. Single last inning. And then has also walked a couple of times. Carter Beck is 15 for 33 on the season. Okay, I think I can do the math on that one. 454 is the average. Beck with 3 home runs and 14 RBIs on the season. Again, was 0 for 3 last night, so that hit will make him feel better as he now has hits in 7 of the 8 games that he has played in since returning from Indiana State University. But he'll be the first guy to face another new pitcher for the Weyburn Beavers, as the Berries are up to 8 hits in the game, 7 runs. Granado still responsible for the 2 runners on base. I'm trying to figure out how many earned runs Graham Middleton gave up in the 4th inning. He gave up 5 runs total. Whether or not he gave up all 5 as earned, probably 3 of them would be earned. Nip's first pitch outside to Carter Beck. Ball 1. Right fielder Ethan Murdoch on deck. Pitch up and in to Carter Beck. It's 2-0. Berries, after today, get tomorrow off. Stay at home. They get a visit from the Sylvan Lake Gulls here on Tuesday and Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. Pitch up high, 3-0. Beck says, come on, throw me a strike so I can swing the bat. He's looking at a potential 3rd walk of the game. 3-0 the count. Connor Nip and taking all the way in a strike. Next Sunday will be another 2 broadcast day here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 3-1 pitch swung on and missed. Full count to Carter Beck. The Energy City Cactus Rats come to town for a 2-game series Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. The Sunday afternoon game at 1 o'clock, not just here on FloCollege, but also on the radio again on CJWW. 3-2 pitch hit in the air, left center field. Camped under it is the left fielder, who will make the catch and throw on back into the infield. So Ryan Doffney making the play. 2 away. Or make that 1 away, I should say. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Ethan Murdoch. Murdoch 0 for 2. Fielder's choice and scored in the 3rd inning. Was hit by a pitch which drove in a run back last inning. Mason Rell, the 3rd baseman, is on deck. Down low, ball 1. Connor Nip from the stretch. 1-0 pitch. Fastball fouled off down the first base side. Heck gives it a cursory look, but that's over top of the fence, and a fan with a glove on makes the catch on that ball while just leaning over the railing. Just taking in the game on a Sunday afternoon. 1-1 the count. Murdoch above 300 on an average for the year coming into today. Looks at a curve ball down and in. Ball 2, 2-1. Berries as a team have hit 16 home runs, which is tops among every team in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Not by much. It's a small lead. As Murdoch looks at ball 3, 3-1. But they haven't hit a lot of home runs here. Just a couple. Ethan Murdoch is one of those guys who has hit a home run in this ballpark. And that's ball 4. So the bases are loaded. Again. Turner Zadunich to third base. Ethan Menard to second. And now Mason Rell, who came up last time in the 4th inning with the bases loaded and got a huge break when a pop-up foul down behind first base was dropped by the first baseman Ian Heck, and then lined the next pitch into left field and drove in 2 runs. Heck will play in front of the runner, even with the infield grass at first base. The rest of the infielders playing back a touch. First pitch bounces in off of Gurney's left arm and off to his left, but unable to think about coming home is Turner Zadunich, and it's ball 1 to Mason Rell. 2 runs in this bottom of the 5th inning for the Saskatoon Berries. They lead it 7-4 over the Weyburn Beavers. Berries looking for their 6th straight win. Swing and a miss by Rell, 1-1. Rell takes time, steps back into the batter's box. He wants to time up Connor Nip and get a base knock into the outfield and get a couple of more runs in. Fouls it off over top of the first base bleachers and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Abiam Medina, the second baseman, is on deck. Nip comes set. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. That one was down and in, and Rell couldn't hold up, but be out a piece of it. Stay alive at 1-2. Rell ready to go again in the batter's box. Nip comes set. 1-2 pitch. Down and away, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Berries cleanup hitter. Third baseman Mason Rell. Nip gets the sign from catcher Robert Gurney. 2-2 is fouled back to the screen. Rell stays alive, a little long at bat. Next pitch will be the 7th one to him, and still only 2-2 the count. One out. 2 runs in. Bases loaded. Barry's threatening to tag more on. And now Nip steps off. He and Gurney, the catcher, will try and get together on what they want to throw here on a 2-2 pitch. Here we go. Low and away, ball 3. It's a full count. Connor Nip ready to go. Full count pitch again. Outside ball 4. That'll bring in a run. Turner Zadunich comes in to score. Ethan Menard advances to third base. Ethan Murdoch to second. Rell takes first. That's 4 free passes taken by Barrie's hitters in this inning, with a couple of hits thrown in for good measure. Still only 1 out, and it's now 8-4, with Abian Medina, the second baseman, up. Medina walked in the first, was hit by a pitch in the third, struck out last inning. The first man to face Isaiah Granado, who's no longer in the game. Medina looks at the first pitch low and outside from Connor Nip, ball 1. Again, Nip, a newcomer to the Weyburn Beavers, fouled off at the plate, 1-1. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, on deck, as the Berries would bat around if he comes to the plate. A long bottom of the 5th. Medina does not swing. Up and in, ball 2, 2-1. Medina 14 for 34 on the year. 417 average. Up high, 3-1. Your Weyburn head coach, Cam Williams, you're thoroughly upset with the fact that your pitchers aren't finding the strike zone. 3-1, in for a strike. Another full count. His pitchers have walked 7 so far. We're not through the 5th inning. They've also hit 3 batters. Fouled off down the first baseline. And they'll come back. Count stays the same. 3 balls, 2 strikes on ABM Medina. Runners all have to return to their bases. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Medina broke his bat on that swing. Needs a new stick. Has a quick word with Joe Carnahan, and will get the rosin cloth out and get some grip on that bat as he gets ready for another full count pitch from Connor Nip. It says ABM likes orange Fanta soda. Just happen to have a bottle or 2 of that in our place as well. On the ground through the infield into left field, base hit. Menard in to score, station to station, as Murdoch will hold up at third. Mason Rell to second. An RBI single for Abian Medina drives home Ethan Menard, and it's 9-4 as Medina goes the other way between shortstop and third base with that base hit. And now Nathan Houston, who's 1 for 3 with a couple of runs batted in, back in the 3rd inning. 2 runs in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th for the Berries. Still 1 out and the bases loaded. Houston on the ground, taken at third, to second for 1, on to first, double play to end the inning. Badly needed by the Weyburn Beavers to get that. And around the horn double play started off by the third baseman, Trevor Dale, to second baseman, Alex Alva, and on to first to the first baseman for the Weyburn Beavers, Ian Heck. That retires the side. We have played 5 innings complete as the Saskatoon Berries score another 4 runs on 3 hits. There were no Weyburn Beaver errors, just a lot of walks. And there were 3 runners left on base. 5 complete. Saskatoon 9, Weyburn 4. As you're watching, or as you're listening, first of all, to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege.
Okay, how do I change that? I did that already. It's not going up. I did that already. Can't you go there?
That's what I'm going to do. Coming up on the top of the 6th inning, Weyburn Beavers coming to bat, now trailing by 5 runs at 9-4 for the Saskatoon Berries. New Berries pitcher coming into the game, Clavert Martina, big right-hander from Kanga, Curacao, coming off his senior year at Eastern New Mexico University. 6'2", 200-pound right-hander. Martina has made 4 appearances out of the bullpen for Joe Carnahan and the Berries. Has a save, a 4.15 earned run average. Has thrown 4 in the 3rd innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Has struck out 5 and walked none. Clavert Martina in for the Berries. And he'll face first baseman Ian Heck, second baseman Alex Alva, and shortstop Zach Tanabe. See what we get out of Martina. He's got big fastball. That much I can tell you for certain. He throws that first, and it's down low. Ball 1 to Ian Heck. Pretty good 5 innings for Robert Bonilla. Had the one tough inning in the 3rd when Weyburn scored 4 times, but the bats have rescued him. Heck with a line drive into right field, but right at Ethan Murdoch, who will make the catch. 1 away. Brings to the plate Alex Alva, the second baseman. Alva with a couple of groundouts. 0 for 2. He has a 3-game hitting streak on the line, 4 for 10 coming into this at-bat, looking to extend that hitting streak. First pitch from Martina, fastball on the outside corner, strike 1. Martina's a hard thrower. Now, timeout as the ball gets away in the left field bullpen, or actually it was a foul ball from the other field. Likos field, there's action going on. A foul ball from Likos field got onto the left field area here at Cairns Field. Alva with a line drive into right field. That one will get down for a base hit. So a runner on first. We'll bring up the shortstop Zach Tanabe. Tanabe with a couple of groundouts to second base, 0 for 2. Alva on base now for the Weyburn Beavers. Has 6 stolen bases. Down 5, are you necessarily sending him? And a pitch on the outside corner. That looked like a slider or cut fastball that would have caught the outside corner. Some movement on that one. 1 strike. Martina. Curveball swung at and missed. Was down in the dirt. Now 0-2 on Tanabe. Chet McDaniel, the center fielder, is on deck. just past the 2-hour mark into this ball game. It's 2-strike pitch. Lifted in the air in the infield. It'll bounce. Taken by the second baseman, Medina. Tagged the runner, but could not get the batter running to first base, so it's a fielder's choice. Tanabe reaches on the fielder's choice, and there's 2 away as Alva is out. As Medina trying to maybe catch the batter, not hustling out of the batter's box. That ended up not being the case, but they got the out, erasing the man on first. First pitch to Chet McDaniels, up high, ball 1. McDaniels struck out twice today. (9-4) Berries with the lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Western Canadian Baseball League action. On the ground to third. Rell up with it. On to second to Medina for the force, and that's the inning. 3 outs for Weyburn. No runs on 1 hit. The Berries committed no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 5 1/2, it is the Saskatoon Berries 9, the Weyburn Beavers 4. As you're listening to Saskatoon Berries baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. I will right away. We're back at. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. That's what I'm trying to do. Bottom of the 6th inning upcoming, and a 4th pitcher coming into the game for the Weyburn Beavers. It'll be Ethan Webster. Ethan Webster out of White Rock, BC, coming off his junior year at the University of Calgary. 6 foot, 225-pound right-hander. And let's take a look here. Webster is making his 5th appearance of the season out of the bullpen. Has a loss to his credit, an 11.00 earned run average. In 9 innings pitched, he's allowed 17 hits, 12 runs, 11 of them earned, struck out 7, and walked 5. Ethan Webster will face the bottom third of the Berries order. Balin Sorensen, Jamal Freeman, and Turner Zdunich. Sorensen 0 for 2 with a walk last inning. Came around to score. Berries with a nice lead after a hiccup in the top of the 3rd inning as Weyburn busted open a scoreless tie with a 4-run inning. Webster's first pitch, herky-jerky motion up high with the delivery off speed, ball 1. Weyburn scored 4 in the top of the 3rd to take an early lead, but then the Berries with 2 in the bottom of the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, and 4 in the 5th inning now have that 9-4 lead. Pitch up high and popped up into shallow right field. Will be caught there by the right fielder Noah Brooks, and there's 1 away. Jamal Freeman coming up. He's 0 for 1, has walked twice and scored twice. Berries left fielder. Again in his 2nd season with the Berries. Came late last year and injected speed into the lineup. If he can get on with nobody in front of him, he might take off, as Webster's first pitch to him is up and away and all the way to the backstop. Ball one. Turner Zdunich, the first baseman, also due up this inning for sure, and then the top of the order again. Swing and a miss. That went up in the zone, and Freeman couldn't lay off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Webster ready to go again. 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. All 3 pitches to Freeman have been above the belt. 2 balls, 1 strike. Webster with the delivery. In there for a strike at the belt. 2-2. Mentioned it's a great Father's Day weather-wise here in Saskatoon. Curveball outside. Slow curveball, and it's a full count. 25 degrees Celsius. West-northwest wind gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. Pushes the ball towards the right field foul pole. That one down and in, and a third straight walk taken by Jamal Freeman. Turner Zdunich coming up. 1 for 3, singled in the 5th inning and scored one of the 4 Barry's runs in the 5th inning. Now has Freeman on first. Freeman puts on the sliding glove on his left hand, more like a mitt. Pitch up high, ball 1. (9-4) Saskatoon with the lead on Weyburn in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cued towards third. Dale with it. The throw to second is over the second baseman's head and into right field. Backed up by Noah Brooks. And that'll be a fielder's choice. I don't know that they would have gotten Freeman at second base even if the throw was there. Runners on first and second. We'll see what. Okay. They're going to call it a throwing error, allowing Freeman to get to second. Error on the third baseman. Menard, first pitch swinging at it. An Ethan Webster fastball, swings and misses, strike 1. Menard going for the downs with that one. He's 4 for 4. This is his 5th plate appearance. And it's the bottom of the 6th inning. Backs away from a pitch up and in, ball 1, 1-1. 4 singles for Ethan Menard today. 2 runs scored. He'll pop that one up and out of play. Foul down the first base side, 1-2. Menard also has a couple of RBI today. So a strong day for Ethan as he gets back into the swing of things, literally and figuratively, with the Berries. That average climbing up towards 500. Again, fouled back to the screen. Stays alive at 1-2. In fact, if he gets another safe hit here, he'll be right at 500. 5-hit day and 5 at-bats, he'd be 12 for 24. Right now, 11 for 23. Nope, my math not that good. Can't tell you the exact average. 1-2. And he reached for that one to foul off and just over top of the first base bleachers. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes on Ethan Menard. Ethan Webster looking for a way to get the Barry's first baseman out for the first time. That pitch is up high, ball 2. 2-2. Now again, those flags above the scoreboard of right field are just flapping straight away right field. Webster's pitch hit in the air to center. Center fielder McDaniel goes back a few steps short of the warning track. Freeman will make his way into third base. Head first dive in, didn't have to. But first and third now with 2 away. And Carter Beck to the plate. Beck is 1 for 2, singled and scored a run in the 4th inning. Has walked twice. And has a runner on third with 2 away to try and bring in to allow the Berries to get the double digits in runs for the night, for the day. You'd figure I'd figure out it's not night when it's bright sunshine and gorgeous out. But so many times the games are played on nights and evenings, you just go to that as your default way of explaining when the time of day is. First pitch to Beck outside, ball 1. Afternoon games throw announcers off. It's as simple as that. They're not used to them. Swing and a miss, strike 1 for Beck. Last night's game, of course, with the 63-minute rain delay and the 12-5 Berries win, not getting out of the ballpark and home till about 10:30. And then an early start today at 1 o'clock. That's on the outside corner, 1-2 to Beck. As Ethan Webster trying to get himself out of the inning. Webster ready to go again. 1-2 pitch is outside, 2-2. Very fun fact up on the Jumbotron said Carter Beck is really good at ultimate frisbee. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3, and that is the end of the inning. Berries don't score a run in the bottom of the 6th. No runs, no hits. There were no Weyburn errors, and 2 runners left on base. 6 complete here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. It's the Saskatoon Berries 9 and the Weyburn Beavers 4. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Okay, don't worry about it. I'll get it. Line score through 6 innings unofficially for the Saskatoon Berries. 9 runs on 9 hits. They've committed 2 errors. They've left 12 runners on base. For the Weyburn Beavers, 4 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 2 errors. They've left 4 runners on base. Clavert Martina back out for a 2nd inning on the mound for the Saskatoon Berries in relief of Robert Bonilla, who is in line to be the winning pitcher today. Martina will face the number 9 hitter, catcher Rob Gurney, and then the top of the Weyburn order, left fielder Ryan Daphne and right fielder Noah Brooks here in the top of the 7th inning. 40-kilometer-hour gusts on that wind out from the west-northwest. Martina, first pitch, and it's inside, ball 1 to Rob Gurney. Gurney 0 for 1, grounded out in the 3rd inning, walked in the 4th. Martina ready to go with the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and hooked foul down the third baseline. Strike one. Gurney steps out, takes time. Gets back in the right-hand batter's box. Martina ready to go with a 1-1 pitch. Slow curves, high and outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Clavert got through the last inning, his first inning of relief, with just 9 pitches. He's got the ability to strike guys out. The Beavers, though, pretty good fastball hitting team from the looks of it. Fouled off there by Gurney, 2-2. Especially the first 5 guys in the order: Daphne, Brooks, Dale, Mayencourt, and Heck. 3 of them are veterans of this league. The other 2, Brooks and Dale, have turned into pretty good acquisitions for Cam Williams and the Weyburn Beavers. They look like they can hit some, as Gurney fouls a pitch off and stays alive at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back into the batter's box is Gurney. Martina takes the sign from catcher Balin Sorensen. Ready to go to work on a 2-2 pitch. Bounces that one in. Ball 3 on a curve ball. Full count. Again, a great crowd on Father's Day here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Attendance announcement will come in a little bit, but it'll be approaching similar to what the opener was. Swing and fouled off. That stings Balin Sorensen. Rob Gurney, his opposite catcher, understands as Joel Carnahan comes out to speak with Balin Sorensen and see if he's all right. Says it caught him on the inside of the left leg, just above the shin guard. Says, I'm fine. It's a meaty part of the leg and the body, so there'll be a nice bruise there, but you can handle that. Catchers get beat up a lot worse than just the odd bruise, I'll tell you that much. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Martina on a full count pitch, the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Rob Gurney gets him. It'll bring up Ryan Daphne, the left fielder, and the leadoff man for the Weyburn Beavers. Daphne 1 for 3, singled and scored in the Beavers' 4-run third inning. He'll face Clavert Martina. Low and away, ball 1. A breaking pitch. Noah Brooks, the right fielder, is on deck. On the ground, back up the middle, but there is Avian Medina, the second baseman, to field it. The throw on to first. Zadunic has to do a stretch up the first base line towards the outfield to get the ball, but is able to catch the ball and keep his foot on the bag for the out. And there's 2 away. So now Noah Brooks singled and scored in the third inning, walked in the 5th, flew out his first time up. He's 1 for 2. 20 for 53 on the year. That's getting up close to 400. First pitch fastball in for a strike. Brooks wanted to have a look at what he had. Brooks extended his hitting streak to 5 games with a single back in the third inning. Curveball in for a strike. 2 strikes on Noah Brooks. In fact, most of the Weyburn players on hitting streaks coming into today have extended them. Martina's 2-strike pitch spiked the curveball in low and off the ground in front of the plate. 1-2. 1-2 pitch upcoming to Noah Brooks. 2 away in the top of the 7th inning. Again, a curveball bounced in, 2-2. Brooks, I think, wants a fastball, and I think Martina may have to give in and feed him one. And let's see, power against power. Good fastball of Martina. Good fastball hitter in Brooks. 2-2 pitch upcoming with 2 away. Fastball down low. Full count. So Brooks has battled back from being down 2 strikes to a full count here. Clavert Martina delivers, fouled off over the first base bleachers. Stays alive at 3-2. Talk earlier about Balin Sorensen taking the foul ball, and catchers, they call the catcher's equipment the tools of ignorance. 3-2 pitches down low, ball 4 and a walk. First one issued this season by Clavert Martina. Puts Noah Brooks on first base. It'll bring up the third baseman, Trevor Dale. He's 1 for 2. Singled in the 3rd inning, scored a run, was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, flew out in the 5th. Tools of ignorance, they call the catcher with his equipment and all, because you get beaten up by pitches, foul tips, foul balls off the mask. Low and away with a breaking pitch, ball 1 to Trevor Dale. I know myself, back in my youth, I caught once playing in under 18. I wear glasses. That wasn't the best thing to have happen. Pitch again away, up high, 2-0. A foul ball straight up ahead of top of me during a game. Ripped the helmet off to look for the foul ball, and glasses came off, landed in my glove, and then the ball was there shortly thereafter. Luckily, I got the glasses out of there in time. Fouled off, 2 balls and 1 strike. The count on Trevor Dale. Two and 1 with 2 away. Like I said, that was the one and only time I caught in minor baseball. In the air, off the end of the bat, coming on, Carter Beck will make the catch, and that's the inning. For Weyburn in the top of the 7th inning, no runs, no hits. There were no Barry's errors and 1 runner left on base. After 6.5 as we head to the 7th inning stretch at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field on Father's Day, it's the Saskatoon Berries 9 and the Weyburn Beavers 4. As you're watching Berries Baseball, and you're listening to Berries Baseball on CJWW and watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege.
My walk and my strike are opposite to what's up there. Like, it's on my computer. So every time I look and see it too, I think it's strike, and it's ball. Oh. That'd be nuts. Oh, well. Who's the only one who screwed up? Should've got a second drink.
There's lots here. Huh?
They usually bring you up a couple.
I know they haven't been. I'll remind Hilty.
Go.
Ethan Webster back on for a 2nd inning of relief on behalf of the Weyburn Beavers as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Let's take a look at the out-of-town situation here today. Bottom of the 6th inning, Fort McMurray with a 2-0 lead at home over Lethbridge. Bottom of the 4th, Sylvan Lake leads Brooks 3-2. Bottom of the 4th inning, Okotoks at home leads Energy City 3-1. Top of the 3rd inning, Moose Jaw has opened up a 15-0 lead on Swift Current. And in the top of the 3rd inning, it's Regina leading Medicine Hat 2-0. That is elsewhere in the Western Canadian Baseball League on a Father's Day Sunday afternoon. Ethan Murdoch to lead off here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Berries. Takes a first pitch curveball strike from Ethan Webster. Strike one. Webster deals again. Another curveball, another strike. 2 strikes quickly on the Berries right fielder, who is 0 for 2 today. Hit by a pitch and walked. Fielder's choice, scored a run and has a run batted in. He looks at a ball up high, 1-2. Third baseman Mason Rell, second baseman ABM Medina on deck. Pitch up high, 2-2 now to Murdoch. Right fielder from Swift Current and Marshall University. 2-2. Popped up in behind first base. Heck going back. That's in no man's land. He'll drop for a base hit. Murdoch peeling for second base. The throw in. He'll slide and get there safely. Murdoch saw that that was going to be trouble down into right field, shallow right field. First baseman, second baseman, right fielder, none of them could get to it before it hit the ground, and Murdoch hustled the entire way and ends up on second base with a bloop double. So the 10th hit of the ball game for the Berries to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning brings up the third baseman, Mason Rell, who looks at a first pitch curveball strike. Rell is 1 for 2. Singled and drove in 2 runs in the 4th inning. Another pitch strike. Was hit by a pitch and scored in the 3rd and walked in the 5th inning. Two strikes upcoming on Rell, and that one's down and away, ball 1. Second baseman ABM Medina is on deck. Ethan Webster checks the runner at second. And again, down low, 2-2. This is looking like a similar at-bat to the last one. 2 strikes on Murdoch, threw 2 balls, and then gave up the bloop double. Got the first 2 strikes on Mason Rell, and now back-to-back balls to make the count 2-2. Let's see what Rell does with a 2-2 pitch upcoming. Swings and fouled it off, and now it's Robert Gurney's turn to have a foul tip take a bite out of him, as he takes a moment to recover in behind the plate. 2-2 the count after the foul tip. Both bullpens are going. 2-2 the count. Webster's pitch, slow curve, hit slowly on the ground towards short. Taken by Tanabe. He'll throw on to first to get Rell. Murdoch comes on over to third base, and there's one away. Down the left field line in the Weyburn bullpen, warming up is Logan Kinter. Down the right field line for the Berries, it's Michael Saul. A.B. Medina with a chance to knock in the Berries' 10th run of the game with runner on third. Ball 1, or strike 1, sorry. They call that a strike on the outside corner on Medina. One strike pitch upcoming. On the inside corner to Medina, 0-2. Webster gets the first 2 pitches in for strikes to all 3 hitters so far here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Infielders are at the edge of the infield grass, so they're playing in. Medina pops this one in the air. In behind third base, coming in, the left fielder, back to shortstop. He can't make the catch. Coming in to score the 10th run is Ethan Murdoch. There's the problem with the infield in. You can bloop one over their heads. They have a further way to go than what they normally would if they're positioned as per usual. And that time, the shortstop, Tanabe, went back and got a glove on the ball. And we're calling that a base hit. So an RBI for Medina. First pitch strike to Nathan Houston, the shortstop. 10-4 the score for the Berries over the Weyburn Beavers with one away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. One strike count on Houston. That hits him. That clipped him on the left arm on the way by. May have grazed the sleeve of the jersey, but it's a hit batsman. It'll put runners on first and second. So one away with runners on first and second. One away and Balin Sorensen, the catcher, coming up. 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored for the Monroe, Louisiana product. Ethan Webster pitching, the number 4 pitcher of the day for Weyburn. First pitch down and away, ball 1. Game moving along, just over 2.5 hours in. That one hits Sorensen up and in. And now the bases are loaded. That's 5 hit batsmen on the day by Weyburn pitching. Throw in the walks, of which there have been plentiful, 8 of them, I believe. That's 13 free passes. Your pitching can't do that and hope to win. And I'm sure Cam Williams will be the first one to tell you that, the head coach of the Weyburn Beavers. So now the bases are juiced for Jamal Freeman. Swing and a miss, first pitch strike. Freeman has walked his last 3 times up, has scored 2 runs today. On the ground towards shortstop, off the glove into the left field. 1 runs in to score. Here comes in to score as well Nathan Houston, and it's 12-4 on an opposite field ground ball base hit for Jamal Freeman. The shortstop Tanabe drove to his right, got the glove on it, but it ticked off the thumb of the glove and got on into left field. Mason Rell and Nathan Houston score. Sorensen stops up at second, and head coach Cam Williams comes out to talk to the pitcher Ethan Webster, and we'll see if we're going to get a change or not here. All the infielders and the catcher are there as well. Pat on the shoulder. Says, yeah, go get him, Tiger. You need to get a couple of more outs, though, here in this bottom of the 7th, as the Berries have 3 runs in to make it 12-4. For Jamal Freeman, RBI 7 and 8 of the year. Three runs in on 3 hits this inning for the Berries. Turner Zadunich up. First pitch in for a strike from Ethan Webster. Zadunich 1 for 4 with a run scored out of the number 9 spot in the order. Ethan Menard waiting on deck. Fouled out of play, 0-2 on Zadunich. Webster peering in at catcher Rob Gurney for a sign. Outside on the 0-2 pitch, 1-2. At second base is Balin Sorensen. At first base is Jamal Freeman. On the ground towards second. Flip to second for one. On to first base. And they got him. Double play executed. Second time in 3 innings they get a turn of double play due to the Weyburn Beavers. This time second baseman Alva to shortstop Tanabe to the first baseman Heck to end the inning. But the Berries again score 3 runs on 3 hits. There were no Weyburn errors and 1 runner left on base. After 7 complete innings, it is 12-4 for the Saskatoon Berries over the Weyburn Beavers. As you're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Yeah.
I'm gonna put this back on close up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Top of the 8th inning upcoming here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Third pitcher of the afternoon for the Saskatoon Berries coming on. It'll be Noah McCombs coming on. After Robert Bonilla went 5 innings and Clavert Martina pitched the last 2. McCombs coming in. He'll face the middle third of the Weyburn batting order. Braden Mayencourt, the designated hitter. Ian Heck, the first baseman. And Alex Alva, the second baseman. McCombs coming in. First pitch to Mayencourt is cued foul towards the Weyburn dugout. On the third base side, Mayencourt is a left-handed hitter. McCombs is making his 4th appearance in relief. That pitch is inside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. McCombs deals again. Hit in the air to center. Well hit. Beck going back. That is off the base of the center field fence. Beck will get it back into the infield just as Mayencourt arrives at second with a leadoff double here in the top of the 8th inning. Mayencourt now 2 for 4 on the day. It'll bring up Ian Heck, who is 1 for 3. McCombs just finishing his freshman year this past winter at Hutchison Junior College out of Olathe, Kansas. Taking on the right-handed hitter Ian Heck. Check swing strike called by home plate umpire Logan Nugent. McCombs in his 4th appearance, all in relief this year, has a loss to his credit and a 4.90 earned run average. Breaking pitch down and away, ball 1. McCombs has pitched 3 2/3 innings in his 3 relief appearances, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 strikeouts and 2 walks. Inside to Heck, 2-1. Alex Alva, the second baseman, on deck. On the corner for a strike, 2-2 on Ian Heck. The Beavers have 7 hits in the game. On the ground towards short. Mayencourt managed to get out of the way. Houston, a good strong throw from the outfield grass in short left center field to retire Heck as Mayencourt advances to third. One out, and Alex Alva. Alva extended his hitting streak to 4 games with a single his last time up in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3. He has an RBI potential here coming up, with Mayencourt on third base. Noah McCombs, the third Barry's pitcher, throws a strike on the outside corner. McCombs ready to go again. Outside this time, 1-1. Top of the 8th inning. Father's Day WCBL action from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Saskatoon Berries in command, 12-4. Fouled back to the screen by Alva. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Shortstop Zach Tanabe is on deck. McCombs ready. Alva, left-handed hitter. Flares this one into center field, but caught by Houston. He'll flip it back to the second baseman, Alva, as Mayencourt has to hold his ground at third. Little humpback liner there that Houston was able to get back to and make the play on. So 2 away, and Zach Tanabe coming up. Tanabe 0 for 3. 3 ground ball outs in 3 plate appearances. First pitch is on the inside, ball 1. Tanabe is 0 for 7 for the 2 days so far against the Berries. Up high, ball 2. 2-0 the count on Tanabe. Chet McDaniel, the center fielder, is on deck. Swing and foul back to the screen. 2-1. Now time called. So they'll get the ball that was just fouled back away from the backstop. Rob Gurney, the catcher, who's on deck for two batters away, retrieves. Again fouled off. And this time a Berries coach, Chance Wheatley, will run out and get that. 2-2 the count on Zach Tanabe with 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning. Up high with a fastball, full count. McCombs tried to put a little extra on that one. Had to get away from him a touch. 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3, and that's the inning. Noah McCombs comes on and gives up a leadoff double that dies at third base. Gets the next 3 men out in a row, and in the top of the 8th inning for Weyburn. No runs, 1 hit. There were no Berries errors. 1 runner left on base. After 7.5 at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it's the Saskatoon Berries 12, the Weyburn Beavers 4. You're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Ah. Well, now we can change it again because the Berries are coming up to bat. See, the visitor has that arrow pointing up when they're at bat, and the home team, the Berries, has that come down. That's all right. You didn't know.
But you don't switch that when the Weyburn has a turn.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you did, this would go to 9.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that, right?
No,
Not until
not until it's their turn to bat.
That's what I mean.
Bottom of the 8th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 12-4, the Berries with the lead on the Weyburn Beavers. If there's one reason you can look at for the Berries' success and Weyburn's downfall today, it's been pitching and control. To this point, through 7 innings, Weyburn pitchers have thrown a total of 185 pitches unofficially. And again, a pile of walks, 8 of them, and 5 hits batsmen. So just a lot of pitches being thrown. It makes for a longer game, a longer day when you're got the merry-go-round on the go. So Ethan Menard will not hit. There will be a pinch hitter for him. Menard with a 4-for-5 day. And coming up for the Berries in a pinch hitting situation is affiliate player from Saskatoon, Aiden Kilshaw. Left-handed hitter takes a big cut at the first pitch from a new Weyburn pitcher, Logan Kinter, into the game. And now Kilshaw gets hit. That's 6 hit batsmen for the game by Weyburn pitching. So Evan Janner's now coming up to bat as well for Ethan Beck. Evan Janner hitting for Carter Beck. An outfielder who will probably play center. First pitch swinging, hit up the middle. Fielded behind the bag, on to second for 1. The relay throw to first not in time. It's a fielder's choice. Aiden Kilshaw is retired at second base, so 1 away. And Ethan Murdoch now will stay in the ball game and come up to the plate. Kilshaw hit for the DH, Menard. Janner hit for Carter Beck. We'll see where Janner ends up in the field in the top of the 9th. As the first pitch to Ethan Murdoch from Logan Kinter is up high, ball 1. Kinter making his 6th appearance in relief for Weyburn. A second throw over to check on Evan Janner. Kinter has a record of 1 win and 3 losses, all out of the bullpen. He's been a pitcher of decision 4 times in his 5 previous relief appearances. A 3.00 earned run average. Pours a pitch in for a strike to Ethan Murdoch, 1-1. Kinter has pitched 9 innings in his 5 previous relief appearances, allowed 10 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned, struck out 11 and walked 6. Curveball down low, 2-1. Logan Kinter is from Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Another player who went to Eastern New Mexico University this past winter. In his sophomore season there. 6 foot, 175-pound right-hander as he pitches low to Ethan Murdoch, and it's 3-1. Murdoch doubled and scored his last time up in the 7th inning. Takes a swing that he wishes he hadn't taken there. Half-hearted type swing, and you realize he shouldn't have, and ends up being a full count, 3-2. 1 away, a man on first. Let's see if Janner's going. He's not. Murdoch, line drive over the head of the second baseman, Alva, into center field. Janner stumbles around second, heading for third. He'll get there safely standing up as the ball back into the infield, and that's a base hit for Ethan Murdoch, his 2nd of the day, as he's 2 for 4 on the afternoon. Mason Rell, the third baseman, coming up. Rell is 1 for 3, has scored a run, has driven in a couple, as the Berries have the big lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Down the right field line, there's a pitcher warming, as the first pitch to Rell is down low, ball 1. See if we can see who that is. There's also action down the left field line in the Weyburn bullpen. Logan Kinter, the pitcher of record now for Weyburn. Fouled off by Mason Rell. 1 ball, 1 strike. Single-digit player down the left field line, warming up for Weyburn. Kinter with a 1-1 pitch. That one goes outside, 2-1. Do they even have this number on their roster? I see a number 8, but they've got a couple of zeros there, so it might be 3 zeros actually. Joe Hart is warming up. Ball on the ground to short, to second for 1, on to first, not in time. Rell beats out the relay, fielder's choice. Janner scores to make it 13-4. So it's an RBI fielder's choice for Mason Rell, his third run batted in of the afternoon. 2 down and a runner on first. And up comes Abiam Medina. As that pitch was up and in and got away from the catcher Gurney to the backstop, and Rell advances to second on a wild pitch. That almost hit Medina. He's 2 for 3 this afternoon. Medina fouls that one back, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Abiam Medina with a single and an RBI his last time up in the 7th inning. Also had an RBI in the 5th inning on a single and was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. Walked in the 1st inning. He's been on base 4 times. Fouled again to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Abiam Medina. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, hoping to get a 6th plate appearance here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 13-4, the Berries with the lead on the Weyburn Beavers on Father's Day. Logan Kinter ready to deliver. 1-2 pitch is inside. Ball 2, 2-2. Young man, well, they say that hit him. So they're going to give him the base. First and second. 2 hit batsmen in the inning, 7 in the game. Crazy. Nathan Houston coming to the plate. He's been hit by a pitch today. Has grounded into a double play, but he does have a hit. 1 for 4 with a couple of runs batted in for the shortstop out of Melville. And he first pitch swinging fouls it out of play over top of the first base bleachers. She's been a long and tedious afternoon with the Weyburn pitching. They got off to a good start, but it all fell apart in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings as Houston fouls another pitch off. Up over 200 pitches thrown by Weyburn pitchers today, unofficially. Curveball stays inside on 0-2 delivery. 1-2 to Houston. Balin Sorensen, the catcher's on deck. Shin guards on in case Houston makes the 3rd out, and he's pretty much ready then to go out and catch the top of the ninth. Houston hits one just wide of the third base bag foul. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Joe Hart, who normally wears 13, is wearing 8 today. That's because they already have a 13 on their roster in Connor Nip, so Hart wearing 8, warming up down the left field line. Houston on the ground. Third baseman Dale comes up with it, now trying to throw over to first, will not get Houston as he double clutched on that. He was looking at second base and then bobbled the ball. And by the time he pulled it out of his glove and threw to first, Houston was there. It'll be bases loaded. And what are we calling that? Single or an error? Sorry? Just a single? So an infield single for Nathan Houston. Loads the sacks again here. And up comes Balin Sorensen, who had to doff the shin guards. As we've hit 4 o'clock on Father's Day afternoon. Crowd is still here, hanging in there. Got to get an attendance figure is what we got to get. She's a good-sized crowd here on Father's Day as Kinter, first pitch lined and shot foul down the first base line. Didn't miss by much there. One strike on Sorensen. Outside, 1-1. Balin's 0 for 3. A walk. Hit by a pitch. You could say that about a lot of the guys. Hit by pitch. 1-1 is in for strike 2. 1-2 to Balin Sorensen. Right-handed hitting Balin Sorensen, coming off his senior year at Southeastern Louisiana University. 1-2 pitch, popped up. Ian Heck, first baseman, settles under it, makes the catch. That retires the side. One more run for the Saskatoon Berries in the bottom of the 8th inning. They had 2 hits. There were no Weyburn errors and 3 runners left on base. After 8, it is the Saskatoon Berries 13 and the Weyburn Beavers 4. Top of the 9th coming up next with a new pitcher for the Saskatoon Berries. When we come back, you're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. I don't know. I don't accidentally hitting it.
No, I'm not.
Well, you may accidentally hit it. I mean, it's easy to have happen. I've had that happen to me. So.
Sorry. I bucking in on commercial
Okay.
when you were talking. Sorry. And it clicked, but it didn't hit.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yep.
Maybe I'll drink closer if I did it. Try.
All right, last chance hotel for the Weyburn Beavers. Top of the 9th inning. They'll face a new pitcher as Carter Kopp will be the 4th man on the mound for the Saskatoon Beavers on Father's Day afternoon. Kopp, who was injured on a comebacker a few games back, getting his first appearance since then. It'll be his 4th appearance overall this year. No decisions for Carter Kopp as of yet. a 3.85 earned run average. He's pitched 2 in the third innings, allowed 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned, struck out 3 and walked 2. He'll face the number 8 hitter, Chet McDaniel, the catcher, Rob Gurney, and then the top of the order, Ryan Doffney. As Kopp, first pitch is in for a strike. Official attendance is 2,075 on Father's Day afternoon. Outside 1-1. McDaniel 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts, hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. Kopp bounces that one in 2-1. Carter Kopp from here in Saskatoon, coming off his junior year at St. Xavier University. On the inside corner, 2-2. Kopp is 5'10", 170 pounds. 2-2 pitch, called strike 3. One away in the top of the 9th inning. They'll bring up the catcher, Rob Gurney, who's 0 for 2. Walked in the 4th, struck out and grounded out to second base. (13-4), the Berries with the lead. They're on the verge of extending their regular season record to 13-2 and a 6-game winning streak. As the first pitch is outside, ball 1 to Rob Gurney. And 2 outs away from being a perfect 8-0 at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Kopp takes his sign from Balin Sorensen. 1-0 pitch. Popped up in the air. Shallow right field. Coming on is Ethan Murdoch. He'll make the catch. And that's the second out. And Ryan Doffney will come up. And we're going to get a pinch hitter for Weyburn. It'll be number 17, Brigham Kokatayo, who played last night. Swing and a miss, strike 1. One strike pitch, low and away, ball 1. Kokatayo did not get a hit last night in the game. Hitting .217 on the year, 5 for 23. On the ground towards short. Houston takes the last hop. Long throw, stretched by Zdunic, and that is the ball game. A 1-2-3, top of the 9th inning for the Weyburn Beavers against the Saskatoon Berries. And our first baseball broadcast in 23 years on CJWW Radio is over and done with, as the Saskatoon Berries win 13-4 over the Weyburn Beavers, take both games of a mini 2-game series here at the Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, and improve to 13-2, 6 straight wins, and 8-0 here at the Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field this season. We'll have the final totals for you when we come back, as you're listening to Saskatoon Berries Baseball on CJWW, and you're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. So a victory for the Saskatoon Berries on Father's Day after last year's Father's Day game was rained out. They get to play this one today in a brilliant sunshiny day. A little bit windy, but not really affecting the ball game whatsoever. As we take a look at your final totals from this afternoon's game for the Saskatoon Berries, they had 13 runs on 14 hits. They committed 2 errors, and they left 16 runners on base. They could have scored a lot more if they'd have cashed in a few more of those bases loaded situations. For the Weyburn Beavers, they had 4 runs on 7 hits. They committed 2 errors, and they left 6 runners on base. The winning pitcher is the starter, Robert Bonilla, his first decision of the year as he went 5 innings as the starter for the Berries today. The losing pitcher was their starter, Graham Middleton. He's 0-1 for the year. Attendance is 2,075. A sellout as far as seating goes. Not quite as much capacity as you can have in this park. Opening day was 2,181 fans. 2,075 today, still pretty darn good. And a game time of 3 hours and 6 minutes. Next action for the Berries is Tuesday. Tuesday and Wednesday, they're back at home, taking on the Sylvan Lake Gulls.